What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Life's a Dance podcast. I am your host, Trey Culata. Thank you, as always, for joining me on this crazy adventure that we call life as we untangle the human mind, figure out how to be our most authentic selves, and how to live our most authentic lives. If you are new to the show, welcome. Today, we are continuing on our spiritual spring cleaning journey, because today I am talking about what to do when you get off track. Because here's the thing, life is messy. And if you're anything like me and you have kids or animals, it feels like the minute you clean one area and you walk away, 10 minutes later, it's fucking messy all over again. And it can be frustrating. Sometimes it can feel like you're running around in circles. And sometimes we get off the path. We steer, even though we have good intentions, we steer away from the good habits that we are trying to implement in our lives. And I'm here to tell you right now, that's normal, that's natural. And the last thing that I want you to do is get discouraged and give up, because that is the worst possible thing you could do. Is just give up because you don't see transformation after doing this for a week or 2 weeks or even a month, or actually even 2 months or 3 months. Because this stuff, I know I harp on this a lot, guys, but you have to really understand, and I want to really drive home the point that we are attempting to unwire decades of emotional and thought programming, mental programming. And when you're dealing with that kind of hard-wired emotions and thoughts, it is going to take some time. So you have to give yourself grace. You're not going to be perfect. It's going to be challenging at first. I, right now, am going through it. And I have been doing this work now specifically this transformational work over the past year. And I still find myself, in some cases and under some circumstances, reverting back to my old thought patterns and the way that I am, again, just emotionally and mentally programmed after decades of being on this planet to react to certain things that happen to me. And I do get discouraged, but I'm not going to give up, because, again, going back to our plant references like we've been doing all spring, you think about the seed that's in the ground, and it's so wild to me that even though it's covered by dirt, as long as it has exposure to sunlight and water, it will grow, even though it's like completely covered. And I'm sure I have some scientists out there that can explain that to me in a way that makes sense. But I think it's like essentially a miracle of nature that it's underground, but you can still get the nutrients that it needs from the sun in order to grow. And there's a saying that pressure makes diamonds, and it's the same type of idea, is that even though we have things in life come up and we have challenges and obstacles and all these things, if we decide to buckle under that pressure, we don't take the new us, the transformation doesn't take root, and we don't bust through the surface and become the person that we want to become. It's wild. We have to think of ourselves as the seed in the ground with that dirt overhead, and just trying to be strong enough to keep going, even though we can't physically see the sunlight. We know that it's there. We know that it's there. So if we just keep pushing and believing in ourselves and trying, if we just keep trying, these things will take root. They will become your default programming. They will become easier. They will become second nature and more of that innate automatic response. But just because you have a bad day or just because something pops up unexpectedly that can throw you off and send you into a tailspin and send you back into those automatic, pre-programmed responses and thoughts and emotions, doesn't mean that you have to stay there. We always have a choice. And I just want to sit here and remind you to not give up on yourself. Do not give up on this process. Just keep trying. And the more you practice and the more you can find it in you to kind of dig deep, when you feel like giving up, I promise that it's going to get easier. And you will start to see change. Because I'm having a hard time right now, guys. I'm having a real hard time today. It just feels like a bunch of shit. I'm just dealing with a lot right now. Between some family health stuff that's going on and, building this thing that I've never undertaken such a project before and just trying to deal with everyday life and stay positive. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for even me to the tiny dancer to want to keep going. Sometimes I want to give up. But I have to keep reminding myself that if I keep practicing and I keep trying and I don't give up on myself, that good things are going to happen. Great things are going to happen. Because I would rather believe that than the alternative. And it's hard too when the people around you aren't necessarily on the same path. That can also make it more difficult. It's hard when you feel like you're alone trying to do this type of work all alone. And to be honest, that's how I feel right now. I kind of feel alone. So, even though I feel alone, I'm going to keep practicing. I'm going to keep believing, and I'm going to always revert back to this mode of thinking because, me and my husband, we celebrated an anniversary last weekend, our 1-year anniversary. And we were away for a few days, having some fun and celebrating the way normal people usually do with some drinks and all that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But nowadays it takes me a lot longer to get back to home base where I feel normal and I get back into my routine of doing the meditating and doing the exercising. Exercise I always fall back on, like no matter what. But I'm always there and showing up on Monday. But I feel like doing the inner work, that meditative work, is where I fell off most recently. Because I'm making excuses. I'm tired. My brain's foggy. I don't have the time. I'm trying to get caught up from being away, right? We can come up with any number of excuses. But the important thing is to not, even though we may fall off track, or feel like things aren't happening at the speed we want them to, we have to keep believing and coming back and sitting down in the chair and doing the work. And we have to keep believing that change is happening because it's like interest in the bank. A penny saved today doesn't feel like much, but if you compound it over time, every single day, compound it over 5 years, 10 years, once you get, let's say, to that 5-year mark, you've gotten to the crux where it's like, phew, fucking blast off. And sometimes it is hard when you're sitting in the middle of it and things feel like they're going so slow, and no matter what, there's an obstacle or you keep getting derailed from your practice. Those are the hard times that are here to test us and see if we're really willing to do the work and be the change. Or are we going to revert back to what we know and what's familiar? I'm going to take the other path. Even though it's been a few days since I've done the work of meditating and practicing who I want to be and walking the walk and talking the talk out in, real life. Now that I've had, some time away, it's time for me to get back on the horse and do it again and just keep doing it again. All right, guys. So please, just because you don't see change right away, please don't give up on this process. It takes time. It takes a while, and we are in this together. We have great things inside of us, but we've been programmed to just go through life not believing or settling for the next best thing or the least best thing in some cases. So take that for what it's worth. I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe in us in this community. Let's keep going, okay? When you get a setback, just please promise me you will keep fucking going. Just because you get derailed doesn't mean you are allowed to quit. I am not going to let you quit. Not on yourself, not on me, not on anybody, okay? All right, that's it for today, guys. I love you all. Till next time, let's dance.